What do you think of Battlefield 5 beta? Well, let's see.
He's good. Objective Fox is ours. Objective Easy has been lost, soldiers.
What up, gamers? Welcome to another Battlefield 5 video. Tap fire the like button if you enjoyed what you saw there. You didn't hear me, but I yelled my ass off during that clip. So today I'm going to talk about my impressions with the game so far, gunplay, some bugs I've encountered, and some tips in being successful when you get a chance to set foot into the Battlefield 5 beta. Now, what DICE has left out in their marketing tactics, they have truly brought out into the new Battlefield with on-point gunplay, beautiful and immersive maps, and some cool customization to your soldiers and guns. Currently within the beta, we can only test the customization of guns and of course the progression of our guns. So far I'm really enjoying the Night Ops collection. I don't know what it is, but it just makes me feel like a commando with the all black aesthetics attached to my STG. So let's talk gunplay. Yes, some guns are definitely better than others, but as you progress through the skill trees, it seems they all about even out. But we'll just have to see as the meta builds up within the beta. So far I've seen a good mix of all guns and classes throughout my 15 plus hours of playing. I love that there is no bullet deviation like in Battlefield 1. Where you aim is now where the bullet will hit. And this accuracy is something that you can improve upon as you progress the skill tree with your gun, like reduced vertical recoil or improved moving accuracy. One issue I do have is the inability to progress your skill tree while in a match. You have to wait till you're out of the match to upgrade it within the menu. I do kind of get it though, as this could halt some players from actually playing in the game, which could in turn make the match a bit stagnant, but it would be nice to have the option to cut to the upgrade screen and optimize your weapon while in game. So within gunplay, I'm going to add a bit about tanks as well. Now I haven't had a chance to really test the planes yet, but I haven't been taken out by one anytime throughout the beta, which makes me believe they are really lackluster as I've heard, or I've just been on maps with poor pilots. I know they've completed gun runs on me, but no damage or hits that I've seen. Anyway, back to the tanks. Now I'm big on tank gameplay, so naturally I got a chance to strap into a few during the beta. Tanks are definitely effective in the right hands, but my gosh, at some points it felt like I was sledding in a snowmobile on Narvik. So DICE needs to work on those physics just a tad bit. Given that the Tiger is just short of 60 tons, this vehicle needs to seem a bit bulkier as it goes across the terrain, or at least across the hillside. Anyway, I'm not at this point to discuss tanks and their driving. There was a controversy on Twitter within the community on dynamite and how little the damage it did against tanks. Me personally, I think it's in a good state. One assault player with 3 stacks of dynamite can do about 60 damage to a tank. That's over half its health. 3 Panzerfaust can do about close to the same damage. The controversy was that it wasn't enough dynamite for an assault, and an assault player should be able to solo a tank. Now, given that tanks have less mobility on their turrets this go around, I don't think an increase is needed. Let's take a scenario where a tank is rolling up on an objective. If you have 2 assault players around the tank, it's likely done for if it doesn't take them out, because if each of those players throw down their dynamite or fire their Panzerfaust rockets at the tank, they should have no issues taking it out, or at least disabling it. This goes in line with squad play as well, as squad mates could use the cover of the tank to push an objective and protect their tank from assault players or support players. Plus, if you're a lone soldier, you could fire on the tank, then, if on the objective, go resupply real quick and continue to take down the tank. Usually the tank is already driving away when I go for the second resupply. So in my opinion, DICE can keep that as is. Now guns will take getting used to, but overall if you have proper aim, then you'll be killing plenty of soldiers within Battlefield 5 beta. Some players seem to be having issues with spotting soldiers, but I think that players have just been groomed too much to the 3D spotting we've seen in previous titles. As you progress through the game, I think it'll be easier for you to spot enemies as you go along. I do, however, have an issue with the bipod. I had a lot of annoying points where when using the engineer's KE7, the bipod would just randomly go through its animation to mount up onto something. And keynote, those guns have laser beam accuracy when using the bipod, which allows for great control of an objective. The issue I have though is that there is an animation when the bipod goes up. You can still fire, but you lose accuracy during this animation, which then alerts the enemy you're shooting, and in the end, you get killed and lose the advantage. So a fix for this could be that when you're an engineer, you go to prone, and then this can be an automatic thing. but when next to a sandbag or structure that you can mount a bipod onto, you have the option to say press the action button and mount your bipod. It's super annoying when you crouch walking towards an enemy position and you ADS next to a structure and all of a sudden the bipod animation comes in and obliterates your aim, thus once again getting you possibly killed. But that's just my thoughts. What do you think of the gunplay and what possibly needs adjustments? Let me know down in the comments section below. So on to the next topic. Let's be honest, when have you jumped into a beta that didn't have bugs? With the game this expansive, it's bound to have some issues. We saw the brunt of them early on in the beta where the squad system wasn't working properly. Basically the system was placing every player in the same squad, which meant no spawn on squad mates, no squad revive, and no squad points to gain the infamous V1 or J2 rockets. It took about 5 hours after launch and the server restart, but eventually DICE got it sorted out. There was also the black screen of death for some players, but as new players embark in Battlefield 5 beta today, everything should be up and running. I had a couple of bugs while playing, but nothing too game breaking. I had a moment while on a destroyed building in Objective C on the Norwegian map where I was literally popping up and down through the floor while crouching and aiming at an enemy. Most of the issues though I had were with the revive system. I had instances where after being shot down by my squad mate would come to revive me. While in animation they would be shot and then the original animation of looking around would be stagnant. So I'd basically be laying there but I couldn't reach out for help or anything. Another was about to spawn in on my squad mate and immediately as I was spawning in, they died and I literally went back to my frozen grave where I originally died. Unfortunately, the only way to fix this was to completely close out of the game and rejoin the squad. I didn't have these, but a couple of my friends had these issues where when they were trying to redeploy, one of them, my squad mate, was stuck at 9 seconds while trying to redeploy back on the map, and my other team member had a similar issue where it wouldn't let him redeploy at all. It would just click and nothing would happen. Most of these bugs are known by now and are being dealt with, but if you have any bugs to report while playing or want any more information on what is going on within the beta, you can check out the links in the description section below. With that, let's talk about some tips. The beta is now open to everyone, so I wanted to share some tips to those who are about to embark on their journey in Battlefield 5 this week. Take it slow and hug the cover points while heading to the next objective. There's nothing worse than standing out in the open giving one of the snipers an easy bead on your head. Next, blend into your environment. Especially when sniping or coming up on an objective, find any piece of cover like a tree or a pile of sandbags to mask your silhouette from the enemy. It'll be easier to catch them off guard and get some of those tasty kill streaks. Get your extra health. If you didn't already know, every class can carry one extra medic pouch just in case that you have to duck into cover quickly after being injured. You can grab these extra health packs from either a medic or a health station that can be found at any one of your objective points your team owns. Medics, you don't have to worry about this as you always carry an extra health pack with you. When you revive someone as a medic or squad revive, just tap the revive button, don't hold it. If you hold it, you will have a tendency to grab your teammate's gun and then they will in turn get yours. It can be annoying when you're set up for close quarters combat and all of a sudden you have a sniper rifle with a long scope on it. Squad play helps tremendously in countering the enemy team and in obtaining enough squad points to call in some epic reinforcements. Plus, watching a J2 or V1 come in and obliterate the enemy team on point is just, well, let's just see it again. So follow squad orders and take objectives, and if you happen to be the squad leader, mark the objectives and use your squad points wisely. Remember, PTFO. Don't drive too far into the resupply depots with your tank. They'll blow up, your tank will take damage, and you will no longer be able to equip new rounds and shells, leaving you basically vulnerable if there are any sneaky assault players around. And last, have fun. This is a beta. There could be some frustrating bugs that come about, but that's exactly the reasoning for this test, to capture as many bugs within the game as possible so that way they can be resolved before the initial launch of the game. And that's all for today, gamers. Hope you gained some helpful tips and you're ready to join us on the battlefield as the beta is now open to the public. DICE has a long way to go on this game, but I'm confident that with the launch date moved to November 20th, we will have more than a polished game to start our journey into World War II. If you happen to gather any amazing clips or interesting bugs, share them with me on Twitter. Use the new Battlefield hashtag #OnlyInBattlefield so the whole community can enjoy. With that, if you enjoyed this video, then give it a like, and tap fire the subscribe button for future gaming content and updates. See you out in the battlefield, gamers. This is Sir Mav, signing off.